Hi, everyone. And hello, everyone, and welcome for today's Brown Bag session. I am really excited about this one because we're diving deep into future of DeFi, cross-chain innovations, and how 1inch is shaping this ecosystem. And we have a truly special guest with us today, Anton Bukov, co-founder of 1inch. Anton, are you here?
Hi, I'm here.
And before we begin, I just want to give a huge shout out to all of you, the blockchain profs, and also huge shout out to Web3 community in Kyrgyzstan for being here. Your curiosity and engagement keep this space thriving. And as we step into 2025, we're only going to grow stronger together. And now let's get started and learn from one of the leading minds in DeFi. Well, Anton, maybe let's introduce you to our community. We really would like to know a bit more about you and 1inch journey.
Yeah, thank you, Farooq. My name is Anton Bukov. I'm co-founder of 1inch. I'm in this space from 2017. I started my software engineering journey more than 20 years ago. I went through different ecosystems, different programming languages, different paradigms. Like I was a C++ engineer for many years. I used to be iOS engineer for writing software for iPhones, also for many years. I had experience working with assembly, with low-level stuff, and yeah, but in 2017, I came to smart contracts engineering and was amazed by the potential of this technology. And actually, this is what I'm currently finding the most interesting for myself to build protocols. Whenever you build new protocol, you're coming up from like questions: who are actors, what kind of interactions they have, how blockchain can improve this. Because yeah, if you would check out different blogs, YouTube streams, whatever, explaining what is blockchain and how it could help your project, you could find like number of suggestions, and most of them would be probably incorrect. Many people are considering blockchain as a database or storage. I do not agree with them. I think the most important thing about blockchain that it is actually the very first ultimately honest actor, which will act without like own incentives. It will not try to cheat on you or something. It will follow the instructions which were developed by protocol engineers. But yeah, it's very limited. It can't do arbitrary checks. It can't go to internet and check something for you. But it can do some checks which are like really bulletproof. Like it can check hashes, it can check Merkle proofs, it can check zero knowledge proofs or some other things. So it's like ultimately honest actor, which is limited. So whenever you're planning your project to be built with the blockchain technologies, you should find out how exactly blockchain can help you. Sometimes it can replace some actors in some relationships. I'm not sure, like if you're building some system for advertisement, maybe you could replace number of intermediaries. But sometimes you could add blockchain to existing flows, and it can slightly improve those flows. Sometimes it can replace actors. So it all depends. You could be really creative here. And my current presentation is about It's called DeFi value flows. It's actually about values which are being redistributed in different ways among participants, usually among huge number of participants. So yeah, let's dive in. So yeah, if you would check out what smart contract engineering is, you would see that you have to build some software which is being executed in some very limited environment. So number of computations you can have is really limited. It's not much. You can't handle like billions of users in one loop recomputing something for them. It's not possible. But you can handle billions of users if you would not try to recompute everything for them, all of them at once. If your protocol have computations involving only acting participants at this time, like 1, 2 participants, you could have protocol which is working for billions of users if you don't need to enumerate them all to recompute something. So yeah, I'm using O1 notation here to explain complexities of protocols. So yeah, whenever I mean O1 complexity, this means that number of computations are not depending on anything, on number of users or number of transactions or something. But yeah, if you have algorithm which have linear complexity over all your users, this means that your protocol will probably have issues. Once it will have like thousands or tens of thousands of users, uh, costs for transactions became too much, and at some point they will not fit into block, and you will not be able. Your protocol will stuck and will not be able to proceed. So yeah, this is like a high-level interview of different approaches, of different algorithms and structures which are being used in some existing protocols of DeFi, which help them to scale infinitely and efficiently. So yeah, I tried to classify existing protocols by algorithms they're using from different aspects. So I was checking how values are being redistributed among huge number of participants. And yeah, you can classify this as which kind of assets are being distributed. Is it the same asset in which users have deposit or nominal, or is it different asset? Is it collection asset from multiple users or dispensing to them? Is it happening instantly, like transaction-wise, or it is happening gradually? It could be based on formula and can depend and being executed every second. It's different for all of them, and yeah, it's you see different protocols use it differently, and yeah, that's not coincidence. This is happening for a reason. So let's start from basic example. So like AMMs, like Uniswap, Curve, Balancer, you can see them in the very first cell of this table. It's same asset instant dispensing. So this kind of algorithm, which is dispensing same asset instantly to potentially infinite amount of participants, this is happening inside every AMM. Whenever using is performing swap with protocol, it uses unified liquidity, unified among liquidity providers. And swap fees are being redistributed to all those liquidity providers, but your transaction does not depend on number of liquidity providers. So I mean, a user performing a swap pay the same computational cost, does not matter how many liquidity providers are in this pool. Is it like 5, 10, or like 1,000 or even million of liquidity providers? From computational point of view, it's the same cost. Uh, yeah, it's being achieved via it's called pool. So their liquidity is being pooled. So pool is just storing shares of participants, and all the fees accounted are being just counted in the balances. And yeah, it happens naturally. They did not make like much to achieve this, but this is something what is really important about this protocol. This protocol is unifying liquidity of multiple liquidity providers and offering this liquidity as unified single liquidity for those who need this for performing swaps. If you would check money markets, here you can see Aave, for example, and Compound. They're in the same asset gradual dispensing. If you would check what is money market basically is mutually borrowing pools. So some users bring Ether, some users bring USDC, others bring Rapid Bitcoin, and they all can borrow some assets. So someone who bring Ether can borrow USDC, for example. Someone who bring Bitcoin can borrow Ether, for example. And how accounting happening in these protocols, that your debt is actually growing every second with some yield. On this image, you can see yield is, for example, 7% annually. So your debt is growing 7% annually, but this is happening every second for a small fraction. Those smart contracts, they have pretty cool accounting. They have usually 18 digits. So that's enough. You can have accounting for every millisecond if you want, but it makes no sense since blockchains usually have few seconds blocks or sub-seconds blocks. So yeah, the idea here is that your debt is growing every second. It's growing gradually, and this money flow is being turned into yield for those who provided this liquidity. When there is a pool of USDC with 1 billion and half billion is borrowed for like 8% annual, those who borrowed half billion, they pay 8% annually to those people who brought this liquidity, 1 billion there, and they would get 4%. So you see how 8% could turn into 4%. It's like a basic scaling formula. So 8% for half billion being turned into 4% for 1 billion. And what's important here is that this protocol is never enumerating all of debtors or all of the liquidity providers. It is being executed for each action. So you have only few different actions here. You could provide liquidity, you can withdraw liquidity, you could borrow, you could repay your debt. So that's four only things you have to perform. And for those implementations, they have constant complexity. This means they never enumerate all of these users. And that's the innovation of this protocol, actually, that it could serve billions of users, even on existing blockchains with their existing limitations, with the gas limits and everything. It could work with billions of users, but they just can't do this. They can't interact in the same block. They can't interact within the same minute, same hour. They will have issues with that. But the thing is, when it's actually letting these people uh, play with each other with this protocol, because they are interacting with this economic flow. Debtors are paying debt. Liquidity providers are getting positive yield of this. This flow is happening for any amount of users, and that's what cool about this protocol. So it will never stop. But I put the logo of money markets into only one cell here. It's same as a gradual dispensing. So it sounds like it should also be same as a gradual collecting here, but it is actually not. The way it is implemented it is only dispensing in both directions. The thing is that when your debt is growing, this means that protocol is giving you debt. But there are some protocols actually which made debt tokenized. This means that your debt is actually token. You can't transfer it to anyone else because it have negative price. But if someone would give you permission, you can. So yeah, earlier protocol, for example, have this tokenization and it works fine. So yeah, money markets, they use the same algorithm on both sides. For debtors and for lenders, they utilize same algorithm by dispensing same values. Those who brought USDC will get more USDC. They have same asset gradual dispensing being accounted every second on the right side of this image. On the left side, when you borrowed something, when you borrowed 1000 USDC, your debt is growing every second. And it's the same. It's same asset, debt of USDC, and it's dispensing of debts. So it's like a small trick, but yeah, this is also giving you an overview how exactly this system works. There is one more thing here to discuss. It's called, it's about instant dispensing. The thing here is that whenever something is happening instantly in blockchain, there is a room for manipulation. So, for example, in money markets, we don't have this, but in AMMs, whenever someone is performing a huge swap, swap fees will be distributed to liquidity providers. And there are actors in blockchain who found how they could extract value out of it. This called JIT liquidity, just in time liquidity. So this scheme shows how having 3 millions of stable token assets can let you have 6 millions of virtual liquidity. So whenever you see swap is heading to one of those pools, you can add liquidity there to both sides. So you have 3 millions and you can deposit 2 millions immediately whenever they are required. You see huge swap is coming to this USDC DAI pool. So you are depositing your 2 millions, you are getting fees for this swap, and then you're withdrawing this liquidity back. And that's how you can virtually have like 6 millions of liquidity. You are having 2 millions in each of those pools, USDC DAI, DAI USDT, and USDT USDC. But in reality, you have only 3 millions. And but you also have to take into account gas costs whenever you need to deposit liquidity, withdraw liquidity. For sure, you have to pay for those transactions, and that's kind of a trade-off for you. But if you would increase number of assets, number of pools are increasing dramatically here. It's like number of combination 2 of n. And this means that your coefficient of virtual liquidity ratio could be like much higher, not 2, it could be 10, 20, and more. And yeah, this is already being exploited. And when you're building protocol, you have to take this into account. Whenever something is happening instantly, transaction based, for example, you have to take care that no one is trying to cheat on this. For example, deposits could be made at 2 stage. So you could make a preparation transaction to deposit liquidity, and then you have to deposit liquidity. That's how you could probably protect your protocol. But there is also a question, whom are you protecting? Because there are two different actors here. There are liquidity providers and there are users who perform swaps. And if someone is providing liquidity just in time, it's actually improving price for those who perform swap. But it's decreasing profits of liquidity providers because, yeah, having this 6 millions of virtual liquidity is better than having 3 millions of real liquidity. You're earning more because other participants are earning less. So it makes sense for everyone to participate in this. But yeah, this is like a trade-off. You have to make decisions on your protocol side. Do you want this kind of manipulation to be existing, or you want to prevent it? So yeah, whatever you decide is up to you. And yeah, it's also depending on the protocol itself. Because yeah, here you can see, for example, yeah, let's consider other cells here, like same asset instant collection, for example. Whenever you need to collect assets from huge number of participants, in, they provided some deposit, and then you need instantly take it from them. Why? There should be, for example, a derivatives protocol. There could be options, and yeah, whenever your Oracle is ready to provide you the final price, you are ready to collect funds or dispense funds. It depends what derivative you have and what you're trying to achieve. Also, you can see same asset gradual collection here. It's a protocol called Papaya. It's a really interesting thing. They made a subscriptions protocol. This protocol lets you grab subscriptions from any number of subscribers within the same complexity, same one short transaction. Does not matter if you have 1,000 subscribers or millions. The gas costs, computational costs for these transaction will be the same. It will be like few cents probably. It depends on the blockchain. So how they achieve this? This is actually accounting innovation. You have to make deposit into this system, and this system have own integrity among own balances and streams and subscriptions inside this system. uh, it's storing cumulative stream speed, incoming and outgoing speed for every account. So whenever you are subscribing to someone, there is a stream created, and incoming accumulator is being increased for the receiver. And the thing is that they can easily compute next balance of everyone by just checking all balance, how much time went from this moment, and checking their total cumulative speeds of incoming and outgoing streams. So yeah, you are getting all your subscriptions without enumerating every subscriber. You just have a total speed which is being applied every second to your balance. If someone is unsubscribing, your balance is being recomputed and your accumulator will be decreased. If someone is subscribing, your balance will be again recomputed and your incoming speed will increase. So yeah, that's how it works. It's just a closed system where you need to make deposits, you can withdraw from it. But yeah, inside of the system, they have accounting which helps to get money from potentially infinite amount of subscribers within the same gas costs. So yeah, it's like a idea how this can be achieved, and they just implemented it. Amazing. And yeah, you see on the right side of this table, there are not a lot of different projects. It's actually some strange structure. I meant actually farming protocol. So different asset gradual dispensing. This is actually what is farming or uh, incentives. It could be called differently. In 2020, farming word was pretty popular. And yeah, this is one of the incentivizations techniques, how it can be used. So what's happened there? In 2019, Protocol Synthetics was distributing their rewards to liquidity providers who provided liquidity into Uniswap, AMM, to specific pool, either with either of synthetics. And they started with just sending thousands of transactions every week. and they also were not really happy when you started to moving your liquidity in this pool, when you was increasing, decreasing liquidity. It was super hard to take those things into account. And we came up to them and proposed a solution to this. We told them, okay, you want to incentivize liquidity in this AMM, but the thing is that this liquidity is already tokenized. This means that you have LP token, which is your liquidity token. This means that you could build on-chain protocol where people can deposit their LP tokens and being rewarded for holding it. And yeah, in 2020, in January of 2020, I with my colleague created this very first farming smart contract, which was used by Synthetics and many other projects in the industry. And the main point of this smart contract, why it was successful and why it makes sense, that's because it's just distributing fixed amount of rewards for a fixed period of time, uh, proportionally to liquidity which is being provided to this pool. And there is like a deposit, withdraw method, and claim rewards method. So only three meaningful methods there, but all these methods have O1 complexity. This means that whenever you're depositing, withdrawing, or claiming your rewards, you don't need to recompute anything for the rest of the users. I mean, you need to recompute this, but you can't do it implicitly. You can't enumerate all those users and recompute something. You have to use special data structures and algorithms to avoid this. So yeah, this protocol is actually working on like things which we could probably call like indexes. There is a common index, how much rewards were distributed per staked liquidity, and there is a record for each user, and like their rewards and what was their when they were last changing their balance, what was their state of this index. And whenever user is interacting with this contract, it is recomputing according to the live index. Okay, there was all the index for this user, which was like 5 reward tokens per liquidity were calculated for them. Now we should have 7, so we should add 2 tokens per staked liquidity for this user. And yeah, basically it works like that. If we will try to show it like on fingers. So yeah, the main idea of this presentation was to show you that building different protocols, it's very important to understand what algorithms you're using to achieve what you want. And you can't use algorithms which have linear complexity. You can't recalculate things among every user in your protocol. It's not possible. You can write this code. It would work for 10 users, hundreds of users. Maybe it would work for thousands of users, but even then, transaction costs will skyrocket. And yeah, you should find data structures and algorithms to make your protocols at least logarithmic, but it would be better if you can achieve constant complexity. And you can see that blockchains are limited. Nowadays, you have limited transaction capacity, gas capacity, whatever. But there are already protocols which are ready for mass adoption. Those AMMs, money markets, options, Opium protocol for options, and other systems, they are ready for mass adoption and they're ready for millions or billions of users. They are efficient. They're efficiently handling this. But yeah, blockchains are probably not ready, but yeah, it depends. It depends because yeah, different blockchains have different scaling techniques. Like Ethereum is being scaled via different layer twos chains. Solana is being working without scaling somehow. It's vertical scaling, not horizontal. Ton, for example, have sharding scaling. Near have sharding scaling. So yeah, it actually depends. And yeah, the things which you can build on those different blockchains, they're also different because these blockchains, they are so different that they have different virtual machines with different assumptions. Some of them are atomic, and this is much easier. Some of them are sharded, and you have non-atomic subcalls, and this is way more difficult to write software for it, like DeFi or any other protocol. But yeah, it depends. But if your protocols are built with these complexities in mind, and they're like O1 complexity, you're like far beyond any other implementations. Uh, yeah, I think that's it.
Thank you so much, Anton. That was an amazing presentation. It's very insightful. We have definitely improved our knowledge on the DeFi value flows. I love the name of the presentation as well. We have many questions from the We Are community chat that I want to project on the screen. And I'll also like to remind you guys this is, well, one lifetime opportunity to ask a question from the Anton himself. So do not hesitate to send your question in the chat. Here goes a question from the VR community channel. I will be posting it on the screen. Let me know, Anton, if it's better if I just show the question like that instead of announcing it my voice.
Mhm. Yeah, I can read it myself. So yeah, DeFi has evolved so much since 1inch launched. That's true. 1inch was launched in May of 2019. There were like only 3, 4 dexes at this time. Nowadays we have like hundreds of dexes on multiple chains. What are the biggest trends you see shaping the future of decentralized finance? Yeah, actually, I see how this space was evolving. So initially, people came up how to build tokens because tokenization is actually very important protocol, and proper tokenization is much more important. Then people build some dexes. Yeah, then people build some money markets. Now people are building different derivatives and the more interesting financial protocols. That's true. I think we will see even more solutions. Now we have like 5, 6, 7 different classes of protocols. I think we will find more kinds of protocols, and for sure we will have more implementations for existing protocols. We will see more competition here with like AMMs, DEXs, limit orders. Maybe we will see new kinds of DEXs, like hybrid DEXs or anything else with money markets. Actually, idea of money markets is really insane and cool. This per second accounting, mutually borrowing pools is insanely cool, especially because this is like a transparent solution. So whenever you see those protocols, you can come and check if all the balances can withdraw, if it's sustainable or not. That's one of the most important things in blockchains, in DeFi for sure, that transparency. You can check out if these protocols are solvent or not, because with a traditional system, you never knows. You never knows if any system is solvent or not. Some central banks are trying to understand if banks are solvent or not, but this is not easy task at all. But for blockchain protocols, it's matter of software of scripts of like, yeah, it's a technical task to check solvency. Okay, what is the next steps for you in the development of this amazing protocol? What should we watch and where should we participate? Yeah, I'm actually right now working on non-custody cross-chain protocol specification. This is something what we already have in 1inch, which is called 1inch Fusion Plus. This is our implementation of this specification for EVM chains. But I'm writing this specification. I'm like leading activity in writing this specification because it's anyone can join to help us to write this specification, because this specification is defining how cross-chain swaps can happen among different chains in fully non-custodial manner. The idea is based on atomic swaps, which came from 2013. It's very old, older than Ethereum. Uh, Atomic swaps are based on hash time lock contracts, and that's what we want to make work among every chain. We want to have EVM, Solana, Tron, Cosmos, Polkadot, Bitcoin, Litecoin, Dogecoin, maybe XRP. I'm not sure if they have XRP script like Bitcoin script. Yeah, since this atomic swaps idea was introduced back into 2013, this idea is compatible with almost any chain, and we're trying to make it work in a more modern setup with intents on smart contract on chains supporting smart contracts. And yeah, so yeah, that's where I'm the mostly spending most of my time right now on this protocol. And yeah, we will have more activities this year related to development um, of those things. I don't mean like 1inch development. It will be development like in general. We will support teams who are building solutions. So this protocol is not something what 1inch is working on exclusively. This is something which also provides opportunities for anyone to build on top. Anyone can build own implementation for any chain they wish, and they could run service on their website or run it on their own. They don't need to communicate in any manner to us or ask permission. It's completely permissionless and ownerless. So yeah, that's what I think is the next step. You can find out on the next question. You can find out or whether support is planned in 1inch ABC and near. Yeah, for sure we will also have near, and yeah, ABC is inter-blockchain communication here. I'm not sure if a specific protocol was meant by IBC or in general, but yeah, answer would be the same, that we are building this non-custody cross-chain protocol, which we will have implemented in 1inch and which many other participants will have implemented in their websites, front ends, back ends, whatever they want. So yeah, I think yeah, that's our expansion to cross-chain. It's really solid here because we never saw anyone else trying to have all the possible chains. We saw some protocols are trying to have EVM chains. That's cool for EVM, but we think we can achieve more. We think users would love to change their Bitcoin for Rapid Bitcoin or to USDC. I meant Bitcoin had so much use cases when it was wrapped into wrapped Bitcoin. It was much more interesting and much more useful than original Bitcoin, because original Bitcoin, you can't do much with it. Actually, this blockchain evolution is about increasing possibilities what you can achieve with self-custody assets. Bitcoin was about letting people own assets in self custody and transfer. But Ethereum and DeFi is about finding more different applications. You can exchange your assets permissionlessly and in non-custodial manner. This means that you can meet random guy in Telegram. You don't know who is this guy. Is it guy? Is it cat? Or is it AI agent? And you can settle trade on limit order protocol via private order or something like that with this guy. You don't need to trust each other. You don't need to trust service. Oh, for sure, you have to trust audits or something like that. But yeah, so yeah, in general, I we are building this cross-chain infrastructure, and it's not only for 1inch. It's for anyone, every team who wanna build. Next question, Sasha Kovalchuk. Do you have information about this product on your website? I don't see it. What are the examples of such borrowing pools currently in actions? Borrowing pools, I was discussing existing DeFi stuff. Initially, it was compound finance. Now it's less popular. Now Aave is more popular. Yeah, they call it differently. Sometimes they call it money markets, sometimes they call it lending protocols. From how it works, I think it's more like mutual borrowing pools. So people are borrowing from each other. Everyone who is participating in this protocol, they are like on the same tier, they're on the same stage. If some huge VC is participating in this protocol and you're participating in this protocol, you have the same rights. They are not different actor. You're in the same class of users. Regarding the non-custody cross-chain protocol, we have right now it's in specification phase. So we have it's on HackMD and GitHub, but it's just text which is being discussed. And we have for sure there is a thread on Ethereum Magicians. Ethereum Magicians is a great website to discuss initiatives like that, even if they are not like exclusive for Ethereum. This is a great place where you can get a lot of feedback, and yeah, we're trying to attract more players from every chain to give their feedback, because when you're trying to build something which works for every chain, yeah, you need feedback from everyone. Yeah. Uh, Conrad is asking, not on the topic of presentation, but in the topic of DeFi. What do you think about what Ton has become only blockchain for Telegram? Yeah, there was a news recently that Telegram changed their policies that if you're building application, and if your application is working with blockchains, it should be only Ton blockchain, not any other blockchain. That's very strange decision. I don't really support it. If anyone is asking me if I support it, but yeah, I think projects like this, huge like that, like Ton, like Telegram, Ethereum, Solana, Near, Bitcoin, whatever, they should compete with each other, because uh, anyway, any competition leads to innovation and benefits in user hands. I think this thing changed this space a little bit, and I don't think it's like a fair communication, fair competition here. But yeah, maybe they will change their decision if there will be demand for this. I'm not sure. I'm like. mm, I think there should be a more open way to compete. Yeah. I would prefer Ton to win on the Telegram platform over other blockchains by something what Ton is actually good for, because they have sharding, they have like infinite scaling potential. This is something how they should compete, not restricting platforms. Okay, next question from blockchain professionals. Has the types of attack like you presented in the slide between observed in the wild? If so, can you share examples for Uniswap, Curve, or other MMs? For sure. This just-in-time liquidity is something what is happening like every day, multiple times. Some market makers they found out that using this technique is giving them more money. They earn more than if they would not do this. And yeah, it's not kind of attack, you know. The thing is that in in terms of any protocol, this is kind of attack, but you have to check who is losing here. So there are two kinds of users in AMMs. It's those who come to swap and those who come to provide liquidity. Those who come to swap, they actually win from just-in-time liquidity. Imagine you're trying to make a swap, you see there is some liquidity, you expect some returns from the swap, some return amount. You're trying to perform swap, and some liquidity is being added right before your transaction. Increased liquidity gives you a better exchange rate. This improves your exchange rate actually, but this also makes that most of your swap fee is being earned by this liquidity provider, probably. Uh, Latest versions of Uniswap, like V3 and V4, they have concentrated liquidity feature. This means that liquidity is not being equally distributed among whole range from 0 to infinity prices. You can put liquidity in specific prices. Just-in-time liquidity for those V3 and future V4 version is happening right in the tick where the swap is happening. So yeah, it would decrease profits from liquidity providers who not perform this just-in-time liquidity. And yeah, just imagine people are sitting in this tick or like range, and they expect to earn $1,000 from this huge $1 million swap. But someone is coming and improving price for user and getting half of it on their own, and they're running away with this. This is not good for liquidity providers, but good for those who perform swaps. So it's trade-off. If you want your liquidity providers be happy, you have to make them to be on the same level. You have to disallow this behavior. If you don't want this, you are happy with this, that's fine. With Uniswap version 4, you can do it by just implementing your own hook. They allow you to deploy own pools with hooks where you can wrap any functionality. You can add code which will be executed before or after swap, before or after adding or changing liquidity in any manner. So yeah, you can solve this in your own liquidity pools by just writing your own hooks, which will prevent from instant liquidity provision. You would ask someone to if someone want to provide liquidity, you can ask them to do this beforehand, and this could probably solve it. But you could advertise your own pools as pools which are protecting you from JIT liquidity and giving more returns to liquidity providers. But yeah, no one knows if this would work. You can try. What do you think are the biggest obstacles preventing mass adoption of DeFi, and how we, prof communities, can help one inch to bridge that gap? Ooh, yeah, mass adoption is something what is very is being discussed for many years. And we see that we are preparing in the blockchain developer community, we are preparing for this mass adoption for many years. Layer one developers developed blockchains and came up to scaling solutions. For example, Ethereum is being scaled via layer twos, so we will probably see hundreds of thousands layer twos to Ethereum in this year, next year, like in a few years. Probably we will see governed layer 2s run by different governments, central banks. Anything is possible. They don't need to be all decentralized or self-custody. It could be custody or whatever. And yeah, we also see that protocol engineers are building different protocols. I believe that there are many protocols which are already ready for mass adoption. Y- Like all those protocols which utilize O1 complexity algorithms, they are kinder ready. They could work with thousands, millions, or billions of users without exploding number of computations, which is required to maintaining their accounting. So that's what I like. But yeah, different blockchains came to this question differently. For example, sharded blockchains, they split state on different shards and which being execute separately from each other. It's like multi-core computers when first CPUs with multiple cores appeared. Everyone was initially thinking that software will somehow parallel itself, but this never happened. Developers are still struggling with making them programs more parallel. There are a number of different approaches how this could be achieved. This could be single instruction on multiple data or multiple instruction on single data. It's like a lot of different things. It could be CPU, GPU, whatever. It could be intercomputer communication like MPC or anything else. And yeah, in terms of blockchains, EVMs are currently like a single core computer. And now we see more computers appear with the different approaches. In terms of EVMs with layer twos, it looks like atomic islands. On each atomic island, you can enjoy this DeFi composability. You can build protocols which interact with other existing protocols and which can actually build something really cool. And writing this code is much easier than interacting with a cross-shard environment or cross-chain environment. So you have like islands of DeFi, which works cool, but communication among these islands is a bit slow, a bit inefficient, and non-atomic for sure. So yeah, I think all those things together is something how we try to be ready for mass adoption. And I think once mass adoption will be really coming on horizon, we will see like billions of new wallets coming. We will see how they will naturally rebalance among different solutions, among different layer twos, among sharded blockchains, and we will see which approach suits better for the users. That's actually a very exciting time to observe this. Last question for today. If you had to predict one major DeFi breakthrough in 2025, what would it be? Hmm. Yeah, we could define it in any way. Like it could be as a TVL in protocols, for example. If we would see like $1 trillion in DeFi or not in this year, or maybe next year, if it would grow exponentially, maybe, probably. Now we have like tens of billions or hundreds of billions. It depends. I think on the previous cycle it was tens of billions, still not hundreds. Maybe we will have trillions of dollars involved in this economy. Uh, in terms of number of users, I think we could have billion of wallets interacting with blockchains on like monthly basis. This would be like a really uh, great achievement for blockchains for their recognition in masses. How people recognize those systems and they rely on them. So I think maybe we could define both 1 trillion and one trillion of dollars in TVL and total locked liquidity like assets there, and billion of users. Maybe not in 2025, but yeah, I think in this cycle. maybe 2025 or 2026.
Well, I think we're very close to be wrapping up for today. Anton, thank you so much for sharing your insights and vision with us today. We were glad to have you here with blockchain professionals. It's very inspiring to hear the firsthand how 1inch is leading the way, really, in DeFi. We were very excited to hear more about the cross-chain protocol you developed in person. Um, Quick reminder for everyone who missed something connected lately. This is going to be recorded, shared. Many thoughts of many thoughts from Anton. I hope if he allows us, we will be making short videos and also share within our communities. And to everyone here again, thank you for your great questions today. I love that. And the engagement. Let's keep learning, building, and shaping the future of Web3 blockchain together. And if you haven't already, make sure to follow Blockchain Professionals community for more sessions like this. And Anton, you are welcome to participate in our annual event, which is a community day. It is a 5 days long event with many cool speakers, innovators, enthusiasts like you. We'll reach out to you separately. And everyone else, enjoy the rest of your day and see you all on our next event. Thank you for being with us today. And thank you again, Anton.
Thank you for having me. Bye.
See you, blockchain profs.